That's our test, and especially in this generation. Good morning. I didn't see you before. Faith that it's all good. It's all good. And when, how's it say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going? Well, we are tough. There's no one tougher than a Jewish woman. I mean, we're soft. No one's softer, and no one's tougher. We have it in us from Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. We have it in us as the daughters of Sarah. And now it's time to like shine and bring it all out, because soon Mashiach is coming. And when Mashiach comes, it's like, remember a couple of weeks ago when Yosef said, Ani Yosef, all the questions fell to the side. Why he was so mean, why he set them up by putting in the goblet, by putting in the money, by returning it to Binyamin. All the questions fell to the side. After 120 years, Hashem will say, Ani Hashem, all the questions of our whole life. Why did that happen? Why did I was hurt this way? Why did I not accomplish this way? All clearly seen. And so when Mashiach comes, it will be clear. Let's get on the train before he comes when it's not clear, and have and see the clarity, see the glimpse of Olam Haba, the glimpse of Mashiach time, the glimpse of it's all good. And how much Hashem loves us is very, very evident in our new Parsha Shmot that Elisheva spoke about so beautifully. And the first word of Shmos is Ve'ela Shmos, and these are the names. This is our new whiteboard here. Ve'ela. Does anyone know what the word Ve'ela means? These things? That's how Shmos begins. Ve'ela Shmos b'nei Yisrael. Anybody know what the word means? These things. These things. El are these. Like Elo, I don't want to say that, Elo Kachi. So Ela, these are your cups of coffee. Ela Kafe Shalach. Ela Kosot Shalach. Ela, these are the names of the Jewish people that came down to Egypt. But
these are these things?
These are. And it's going to say what? These are cups, these are names. For example, in Shemos it says Ela Shemos. These are names, but it doesn't say Ela. It starts with Vit. What's the Vav doing here? And these are the names. That's a funny way to start a new book. And Marvin said to Joan. And it's the beginning of the book. What's the last chapter? What's the last sentence? What's the last paragraph? It's the beginning of a book. Vid. How do we learn from this? Also Hashem's love, that you mentioned it, Bina. We learn his love to us. Vid is a continuation from Bereshit. Hashem is not leaving us alone, and the Avos and Imahos are with us. Hashem says, I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will bring you up. There, it's a connection. It's a connecting Vav. Vav HaMechaber, something like that. Connects us to the last Sefer. The Avos and Imos have not left us to fend for ourselves. Avram, remember that story in Hebron? Remember, it was a 2-week-long story. They were going to Chas v'Shalom kill all the Jews. And remember, somebody went down to Moras HaMachpelah because he was sent down, and he thought he's going to lose his life. And what does he find down there? They all, meaning Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, they are crying and fasting, the Jews, the whole week. They were with us. They are with us. So Ve'ela, it's right through here. Ve'ela is connecting to Shemos, and I'm sorry, connecting Shemos to Bereshit. So in the beginning of this new Sefer, it's the story of the Golus, the exile, and the Geula, and the redemption. Are you looking for?
Share a tea.
That way, all the way over.
A man moved to Israel. You know, we all have funny stories about our not knowing Hebrew, you know. So he asked, he was like in an office, and he says, he wants to know, where's the service desk? Epo Hashemuti. So Epo Hashemuti. And that's, yeah.
A friend of mine who made Aliyah, older woman, she was just learning Hebrew, and she went to the park, and she said, Ani ohelet yaladim.
Ani
ohelet. I feed children. She wanted to
She's a monster. I had this in Yiddish once. I think it's a funny story happened in my X amount of years so far. Maybe it would be funnier today, but I worked for Rabbi Harry Bronstein of Altidom. He was like, do not be silent for Russian Jews. And we even went to Russia it's a long time ago in the 70s. And Mishulachim, people who would come to collect money, making a wedding, whatever, from Eretz Yisrael came there. He spoke Yiddish. Probably spoke English too, but I had to practice and show off my Yiddish. So he asked me where the sherutim, let's remind where the bathroom. I said, there's a shissel. What I wanted to tell him is that it's in the hall. This was like on 5th Avenue and 34th, 33rd, whatever. So there's one, and scary people could go there, or not such honest people, or not such holy people. So you need a key to the bathroom. So I said to him, aber darfst the shissel. He said, no. I made a mistake. The word key is schlissel with an L, and the word shissel is a bowl. Right. I said, you need like a pan. A little red. He said, no, nish. I said, yeah, that's the shissel, because I don't want to walk down the hall just to find it locked and come all the way back asking me for the key. That's the shissel. And he said, no. And then I got, wow, schlissel. So anyway, Baruch Hashem, we're trying our best. And Hashem, I hope, laughs at all this, because I was thinking, I know many Bali Tshuva here in Eretz Yisrael that speak Hebrew, well, because they were born in Israel. So Hebrew is not anything to overcome. Okay, now they're talking about Shabbos or Shabbat instead of Yom Rishon, Kader Regel. They're talking about Kaderei Sholent. Okay, but they speak Hebrew. Those of us, or those who did Tshuva from America, to start over like in the first grade, like Rabbi Akiva, he went to first grade to learn Aleph Beis, and Hashem gets so much nachas from that, from our mistakes also. He laughs at these mistakes, and we should also. So Chazal tell us that the exile and redemption of Egypt happened then. It's a history story, but it also is a future story. It's also happening to us today. So what we can learn from that exile and redemption, we can learn for ourselves for today. And the story of Shemos is like behind stage. It's behind the curtains, behind the scenes of our upcoming redemption. So let's get a peek into what's coming. It should be soon, it should be today with Hashem's help. So when Hashem revealed himself to Moshe in the burning bush, Moshe had a question. He sees the bush burning, and it doesn't become like nothing, like extinguished. Consumed, thank you. It doesn't become consumed. He goes, what's going on? It's burning. The fire's coming up and the bush is still here. And that is an example that shows us and teaches us about how are you? Good. Welcome. About our Jewish soul. It could look like it's totally consumed. It could look, thank you for the word, it could look like it's totally consumed, and yet it doesn't. It's still there. There's a pinful yid, a dot in our neshama that nothing in the world can wash over, can destroy. In fact, even when we look that way, and this is very very, very touching and very pertinent during the war, because we see people that look like between them and Yiddishkeit like there's nothing. The way they're dressed, or the way, their whole body is full of tattoos or whatever. One man said his friend, I think we spoke about this last week, his friend on Yom Kippur before the war made a barbecue, not out of malice, not out of going against Hashem, or out of not knowing, just not knowing. It was a different galaxy. It was totally a different dictionary. It was a different language. And then during the war, he said, Hashem, if you get us out of here, I'm going to keep Shabbos. That same man, that same soldier, he keeps Shabbos since the war. So when we look at anyone else, if we see the Pintel Yid, the beauty of the Jew inside, the neshama that will never, ever be canceled, be extinguished. And that's what he learned from this. And so Moshe Rabbeinu was refusing Hashem. Hashem says, take my people out. And Moshe Rabbeinu is refusing. Why? Why is he refusing? Because he felt that he was unable to redeem the Jewish people. They that time were on such a low level. Remember, they were like the 49th level, like one more, like Hashem came very close to the cliff. He didn't say stop here. Like Hashem saved us, the nick of time. The lowest level they could have been. They were compared to the Egyptians. And he thought, I just can't do it. They won't listen to me. I won't have any influence on them. I'm just not the man for the job. And so to answer Moshe Rabbeinu, what did Hashem do? He tells him, take this rod that's in your hand and throw it on the floor. Now, wait a minute. What kind of answer is that to Moshe? Moshe Rabbeinu is not saying, Hashem, could you please help me? Give me a miracle that I can show the Jewish people that you're with me and that I have superhuman power and that I can take them out of Egypt. Then the answer would have been more fitting how we understand. Take the rod, it's going to turn into a snake, and then it's going to turn back to a rod, to a stick. That would have been an answer to I need a miracle. But Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, I can't take them out. They're not worthy. So Hashem says, take this rod and throw it on the floor. Could you pass the tissues, please? So Hashem is saying to Moshe, I'm going to show you something. And then, Moshe Rabbeinu, you will realize that you can redeem the Jews. Hashem told Moshe to throw the stick down. And what does the stick symbolize? So Chazal, the rabbis, have told us that the stick symbolizes the possibility. You could take a stick like a wand. You can go to the right, to the left. The conductors, they take their stick and they go like this, and this part starts playing. And they go like this, and then they go lower, and then higher, and it's a crescendo. And a stick is to the right or to the left. It teaches us the power of choice. Kol ha-bechira, which is actually very, very simple. If we want, we'll do it. If we don't want, we won't. We think it's so difficult. How can I choose right? Do it. Just do it. Yankee said to his mommy, Rachel wanted to hit me, and he's crying. So the mother says, how do you know his big sister? How do you know Rachel wanted to hit you? Because she hit me, right? And so how do we know what we want? What we do. It's called ha-bechira. And it's very, very strong, the desire of Ratzon, to want to do good. Sometimes we're not able, sometimes the forces of the Yetzer Hara, of sadness, of heaviness, of depression. Just for us, it's just Bacharti Hayom to get up. And already I should have 5 stars. I should have, it's already, for me, that's great. I got up today. I got out of bed today. So everyone's at their own place of what they choose. And if we want it enough, we'll get it, because nothing stands in the way of Ratzon. I saw yesterday that after 2023, which just finished at midnight, people are writing in and talking about everything they accomplished during the year. Big things, amazing things. And for some of us, what did we accomplish? We got through the year. And that could be a bigger accomplishment. So we can never judge each other. We can never even judge ourselves. And to be like Rachamim, Chemla, to give ourselves place, and to give ourselves love, and to give ourselves a boost. We got up today, hooray! So this is the rod. This is the rod. And the rod is actually very, very, very difficult for most people. Many Jewish people, then in Mitzrayim, and today, for sure, I might say, choose bad. Don't want what's so much what's right. And Chas v'shalom, do things that aren't giving nachas to Hashem, or God forbid, sinning. And so Hashem told Moshe to throw it to the ground, what is the ground? Earth. It's a place of lowliness. It's a place of dirt. It's a place of choshech. It's a place of the closest place to what's under the earth. I don't want to say that place, but it's very, very low. And what does it become? A snake. It becomes a snake. A snake is like Nachash HaKadmoni, the first snake. The snake is connected with the Yetzer Hara, with Paro. Snake is wily, deceiving, wants to sneak and get us to do wrong, God forbid. That's the snake. That's the Bechira. That's the freedom of choice of most people. It's like the snake. People make negative choices. The snake consumes us. We get caught up with confusion, sin, God forbid, questions, and we choose bad. Not like Moshe. Moshe chose only good. His koch bechira was only for good. He was Moshe. And so we say, how many of us are Moshe? Not very many. So go back to feeling bad. That's what Paro wanted. You're bad. You're not good. You'll never be good. Give up. Become sad. Throw in the towel. Not for you. And then what do we do? Oh, okay, Paro. Okay, you're right. You got it. You saw through what other people I try to hide and I try to pretend or to seem good. You caught it. I'm empty. I'm not there. And so I'm going to, God forbid, give up. But wait, this is just the first step. It's a snake. What's the second stage? Following in the pasuk, Hashem says to Moshe, stretch out your hand, hold on to its tail, to the tail of the snake. And what happens? It turns back to a stick. It turns back to freedom of choice. To teach Moshe, even though the Yetzer Hara is so very powerful, the power of Hashem's goodness, the power of Hashem's love to us, of his rachamim, the power of the Jewish soul that never ever gets consumed, extinguished, is so great. It wins over. And Moshe Rabbeinu, you can help the Jewish people. Those who fell so low to the level of the snake, you can bring them back. You can bring them back. How? Hashem tells us how. Hold on to their tail. Hold on to the edge of the snake. What is a tail? You know, like this pen. So the edge is very, very small. It's just this tip. If you had a pencil, you'd really see it's almost like a little yud, a little yudula, a little Jew. It's small, it's tiny. But each of us have that, and none of us ever will be consumed, ever. And so he says, Hashem teaches Moshe Rabbeinu, hold on to their tail, find and emphasize, like put it out in big, magnify it, the good point. The drop of virtue until they turn over from being a snake to being a stick. Show them and reveal to them that they have so much good inside of them. Intensify, empower that good until they, each of us will choose good. Even though we're in the midst of the confusion and the dark and the disorder, we'll choose order, we'll choose Hashem. The tzaddikim, Moshe Rabbeinu, and later the two midwives are giving us as Jewish souls, then in Mitzrayim and today, before Mashiach, we can breathe easily and we can believe in ourselves. We could love ourselves, actually. We could feel good about ourselves. And that's what Hashem wants Moshe Rabbeinu to do. That's what Hashem wants us to feel. Happy, proud, and joy of being a Yid, of being myself. Talmud went to his Rebbe once, and the Rebbe said, you're lacking emunah. He couldn't understand me. He was very humble, but like his whole life was emunah. I'm lacking emunah? The Rebbe said, in yourself. It's very important that each of us believe in ourselves, because that's exactly what the Yetzer Hara doesn't want. Don't believe in yourself. Who are you anyway? Who cares? Stay in bed. Nobody will notice. Stay in bed. Your misses aren't worth, anybody looking twice. No, my moda'ani is saving soldiers. My washing my hands in the morning is bringing Mashiach, me. Hashem knows each of us. When Hashem called Moshe, he always called him by twice. Moshe. It's a sign of love, of chiva. And the first time he called him was to get his attention, let's say. The second time was, I love you. And Hashem calls each and every one of us twice. Maya, Chaya. And when Mashiach comes, we're going to see how great we were and are. Mashiach will write a book about each and every one of us, because Hashem sees when we fall and when we hang on with our fingers, with our nails, not to fall, either into depression or sin. When we hang on to smile, even though that's the last thing in the world we want to do. When we call a friend to make them feel good, even though we would just, or somebody call me today and make me feel good. I'm going to call someone that makes me feel good. But Hashem sees all that. He sees the fight. He sees what we go through, the challenges, and he sees how precious each and every one of us is. And there's a story, there was a guard. This is in the time of Gemara, I believe. Somebody help me if you know where and when it's from. He was a guard in a house of prostitutes. So most nice Jewish boys wouldn't choose that profession. Doesn't really add up to, a holy profession. And a woman came, and she was different than all the other women. And she was crying, and she said her husband had a lot of debts and he's in jail now, and she just wants to make some money to get him out of jail. She has no choice, she doesn't know what to do. He sees that she's a good woman. He was an older man, this guard, and he had a retirement plan, and he had saved a lot of money through the years. He gave her all his savings so that she can pay back and redeem her husband from jail. That was his true, beautiful core of being a Jew. And we don't have to go back to the Gemara. Just this morning, I read such a beautiful story about, I didn't have his name. He was in that party on that Shabbos of Simchas Torah in Re'im. His name is Itai Regev, 18 years old. And he and his sister and friend were caught. And he was already shot, and he was like, his leg was he was like limping on his leg. He was in captivity with his friend. I think so. And he comes from a family that's they make kiddush every Friday night. It's about maybe it, but whatever. But that's the Jewish peninsula. That's the Jewish connection. That's the holy soul. And his friend are here in jail in a room, and the captive, Hamas captive, brings them a small bottle of grape juice, maybe Geula grape juice, a small bottle of grape juice. They look at each other and they couldn't believe it. They said to each other, it says, Nistaros derech Hashem, the way of Hashem is hidden. That the capture, the person in charge, making sure they don't run away where they're going to run to, gives them grape juice. And they were so happy. Every Friday night, when the Shabbos, they made kiddush. They poured out a cup. They each had a little sip, and they poured it back so it should last. And they wished each other, next Friday we'll be home. Shishi haba babayit. And they also say they had a mishpat that they said to each other. And they said to each other, which was very, very beautiful, mishpat kavua, od kitsa, od tipa, a little bit more, another drop. They might have said this to each other 30 times a day, more than once an hour. When he was down, his friend would say it to him. When his friend was down, he would say it to his friend. And then they made kiddush. And then they also had a bag of pretzels, bagela. And in the bottom, you know how all the salt falls to the bottom? They're like thick salt. That's what they used, like for the bread, to dip their bread in salt, and the salt of the pretzels. Look, he was in that party. I'm not saying anything about him, but look at the beauty of every single Jew, how much Hashem loves and appreciates and gets nachas. Hashem is mitpaer, means he boasts. He has like so much pride in every single Jew, calls him on to Shem Yisrael Nikra Alav. He could be the lowest of the low, like the Baal Shem Tov says. Shem loves the farthest, lowest Jew more than a father and mother would love their only child that was born after 20 years of marriage. They would love him very much, the apple of their eye. Hashem loves the lowest Jew more than that. And so he was saved. He was saved. And Bezos Hashem Shishi Abba Nachnu Babayit. And after many long days and nights, he and his sister came home. His friend Omer is still in Chevy, in Mitzvah Hashem. Omer Ben Sarah, his mother's name, should come out, or read the Shalem, together with all the captives, together with all the soldiers. So if we just touch onto that tip of the Jew, like the guard in the times of the Gemara that gave his money for this woman, and like Itai, who they had kiddush every Friday night and poured, probably they were so thirsty, that grape juice, I know when I get it, like, wow, can I have some more? It's just so good. It's Geula grape juice. But Hashem says he only looks at the good of us. He only sees our good. Says Lohibid Oven B'Yaakov. Hashem does not look at the sins of Yaakov. Lo Ra Amo B'Yisrael. He doesn't look at Avel. So he doesn't look at our shortcomings. He looks at our good. And so Moshe Rabbeinu teaches us how to search and look for the good inside ourselves and each other. It's harder to find inside ourselves because other person says, oh, she didn't mean to say anything wrong. I know I meant to say something wrong, but so I can't fool myself. I have to look for the good too. I had a headache, whatever. I had to look for the good too. And in the sea of darkness, Hashem looks only at the sparks of light in us. And Hashem taught this to Moshe. And each of us feel, I'm a faker, I'm a failure, it doesn't apply to me. No, it's when we're down, grab a drop of that good point, and we can overcome it, and we can become the stick, no longer the snake, but the rod, the snake, the stick. This is the secret of Geula. Secret of Geula. We're not perfect. Hashem knows our shortcomings, and He looks for our good. Because Paro is the opposite. He just wants our bad. And we're not going to fall into his trap. That's the Iker of Geula, to look at the good and to redeem us. Now let's talk about the midwives. Wow. Paro wanted to kill all the Jewish babies. And the Jewish midwives are tzidkaniot, they're tzadekis. They're very, very holy. They help to birth holy children. Remember from Noah, the Iker told us of a person is Masim Tovim. They brought to us goodness. They showed us how good we are. They lifted us up from dirt and from nothing to say, you are good, you are beloved, you are sweet, you are holy. Their names were Shifra and Pua. And Rashi says, which we're going to get to in a minute, Hashem help we have time. Shifra is like from the word l'shaper. Shaper means to make something pleasant or nice. Like, ever get it? I used to have this. You get a report card that says Shipur Gadol. It was a great. You've accomplished a lot. You've improved a lot. That's Shifra, to improve and to make beautiful. Yerushalayim is called Karta de Shufraya. The beautiful city is Yerushalayim, and it is. It's the most beautiful, beautiful city in the world. May it be redeemed soon. Shifra made the newborn clean and beautiful. She cleaned him, washed him. And we're the newborn. Hayom ani yiladeticha, it says, and that's good for our new first day here in Bas Medrash. It's our first day. All of us should feel, not just on our birthday, that today is the first day of the rest of my life. To forget yesterday, the problems, frustrations, disappointments, heaviness, sin. Forget it. It's history. Whether it's 10 minutes ago or 10,000 years, it's gone. What do I have now? Now. That's my present. It's the present. And I have the future. So as a newborn of all of us, us Jewish souls, Shifra would make us clean and look for our good points, look for our beauty. And what would Pua do? Pua speaks to the newborn. Pua, Pua, Pua. She says in different voices, Cookie, Chuki, Cookie. I remember Chuki, Cookie, Chuki. How do you say to a baby? Help me. Oh, wow. You got it. And she'd say, Tirga, relax, don't cry. Ima Paul, mommy's here, don't cry. Don't cry. Bina is here. Ima Bina, mommy is here, don't cry. Make little soft voices. And that's how she would encourage us. This is what the tzaddikim do, what Moshe, what the two Mialadot, what Yocheved and Miriam, Shifra and Pua. Don't worry, you're so cute, you're so sweet, you're able to do this to ourselves, I'm so holy, I'm so sweet. Do what you can, even a small thing. You're chamud, everything is good. Take a deep breath. That's how Pua would appease the newborns. Paro, that's Tuma. Paro says, you're ugly, you're a snake, you're dirty, you're a lost cause. And the tzaddikim, Moshe, the midwives say, you're precious, you're gorgeous, you're wonderful, you're sweet. What you're doing is amazing. Continue to choose good. You're worth so much. And let's believe them. And this is the backstage. This is what's going on before the Geula. And I read actually on Shabbos, it was so special. I had to write it out. It's like when we were talking about the burning bush, that the soul, the Jewish nekuda of good, of holiness, is one with Hashem. Just like Hashem is here forever, so are we in our neshama. And that oneness is the same as Hashem. Hashem, Kuchabrichum Shechina, the Knesset Yisrael, the Raisa, the Torah, Hashem, and us are all one. That means we each and every one. That boy Itai that made Kiddush every Friday, that was in that party and stuff. He is one with Hashem. Each of us are. And let's find that and search it in each other and ourselves. And it says here, calls up Pnimius HaNefesh B'Vadai Eket Nafsha Ma'od Ma'od. Every inner Jewish soul, no matter what's on the outside, the sin, generations of sin, of being far, not knowing what Yom Kippur is, God forbid. The inner Pnimius cries to Hashem, Nechsefes Umitgageget. It yearns and desires Lashuv Lashorsha, to come back to his mommy, to Shechina, to Hashem. Ki ratzon hanefesh hu ratzon ha'emes. The true desire of each of us is a true desire. The Hainu ratzon Hashem. It's the desire of Hashem, and may we see it in each other. And seeing it so much in the war. My friends go to Meron every Tuesday from around 10:30, 11 till 12:30. They say Tehillim, Nishmas Kol Chai, Pitum HaKatoras, all things to end the war and to bring everyone home safely. And then they say, Kulo Zakai, every Jew is a merit. Every Jew is good. Every Jew is good. Every Jew is good. And last Sunday we did something beautiful. They wanted to dance. Usually when you dance, you start singing. They said, let's dance quietly. They danced where Rabbi Lazar is in the big room by the women. They danced maybe 20 women in a circle, and you couldn't hear a word because they didn't want to disturb the men and certainly not sing. And afterwards I said, this music must have been so beautiful in heaven. This mangina, this song, because here are these women singing. And also, Rabbi Nachman says a person can scream so loud that it shakes the heaven, and the person next to her doesn't hear anything. It's a call from the neshama, and it bypasses. It's such a strong call, it shakes up there. Nobody hears it. And that's what I was reminded when these beautiful women were dancing without a sound. So if somebody could be so kind to read the chapter 4, Pasuk 2, this shows us inside how every single word is connected to what we've been saying, and it's so good to see it inside the Holy Torah. So, Chaya, are you available?
ויאמר אליו השם, מה זה ידיך? ויאמר נתן. Mate. השם said, what is that in your hand? And reply, a rod.
Next passage, please.
ויאמר השליכהו ארצה. וישמנו ארצה. He said, throw it on the ground. He threw it on the ground. And it became a snake, and Moshe ran away.
Right, and then the last one, that's Pasuk 4, chapter 4. It's the next page, after the page.
ויאמר השם אל משה, שלח ידך לאכול makom. And Hashem said to Moshe, put out your hand and grasp it by the tail. וישלח ידו ויחזק בו ויהי במטה יפול. He put out his hand and seized it, and it became a rod in his hand.
Beautiful. And that's the rod that went back to Koch HaBechira. No more snake, no more Yetzer Hara, no more getting us down like Paro, you're nothing. And that's every word in the Torah. It says, Hashem said, he said, hold on, biznavo, to the tail of the snake. That's the lowest part of the low. That's the tip of it. But from that, we can find the good and bring up the Jew. Dina, could you please read chapter 1?
The king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwife, one who was king, Shipra, and the other poor, Rashi. Shipra, Yocheved, Parsha, and Separated Avolim. Shipra, this was Yocheved. She had this additional name because she used to put the baby after its birth into good physical condition. Mishikrat by the hair the best field of our faith, Sota, 1-1b. Four, the Miriam. ששלום מדברת ועובדה לברך שם, בדרך הנתון המבלטות לא קבוצה. Four. This was Miriam. She had this additional name because she used to call aloud as it and Klum to the babe, just as women who do who soothe a child when it is crying.
Thank you so much. You have a new job. Thank you. Beautiful. Shkoyach Dini. So if we could use all our learning to just translate it into actions of being kind and good and helpful and loving to each other, to ourselves, to believe in each other and ourselves, and to pray to Hashem that all the soldiers will come home safely and all the captives safely in their ruach, in their emotions, in their health, in their body, and in their neshama. Because this can bring us all back to Hashem. And then what's next? Like Rabbi Akiva, he laughed when there was a shual, a wolf, fox. What's next is Mashiach. So let's hope like he'll come today, because we've waited many thousands of years. It hasn't been easy, and the snake is amongst us, and Paro, and yet Hashem just showed us then, and is showing us again. We're going to overcome. We're the Jewish women, and we're going to bring the Gula. So if we could maybe just sing one song together. This table is perfect. I have a table in my living room, a little bit like this. And if I go, like, let's say to that door to look out the window, I come around the other side to go back to the kitchen, because then I've just danced around the table. And I like to dance. I like to dance at least 5 minutes a day. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm trying. So if we could just.
On the WhatsApp, I remember seeing there's a group of ladies that dance every day.
Oh, wow.
And enjoying
I wanna
this
join
WhatsApp. There's a group of ladies
Beautiful.
worldwide
Wow.
that dance every day. I don't know, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
They dance every day.
Dancing is bringing the Gula. Dancing is not
They
tigdinim.
enter
Wow.
it, they dance that way, and they enter it, and they
Wow.
dance.
It's like a diet. We have to answer to someone. Good. I didn't eat chocolate, but I danced.
I didn't
Yeah.
commit, and I didn't want to commit, but I tried.
It's beautiful. Thank you,
I
Saraya.
wanted to say,
Yeah.
yesterday to me, and the Shem was beside us. And every single morning when you wake up, you always know that Shem is like always with us, even though you make the share of the Parsha.
Oh, thank you. Such beautiful words to encourage us and give us a muna. Thank you. Hashem iti etzli v'imadi. He's with us the whole way. He's holding our hands. He's inside of us. You can't get any closer than that. Hashem. So if we could sing the song that we sang a few weeks ago. Al tira abdi Yaakov, don't be afraid, my servant Yaakov, don't be afraid, I'm with you. Al tira abdi Yaakov, al tira abdi Yaakov, al tira abdi Yaakov, Rabbi Yaakov, Altira, Yaakov, Altira, Yaakov. May this come true, and we see there's nothing to be afraid of, and Hashem is with us. Iti etzli madi, and we're going to see Mashiach. That's next. It's the next class, Mashiach, and it's Hashem in real time. It's Hashem. Thank you so much for coming, and Baruch Hashem, we're in a new place. Mishana makom, Mishana mazel. We have good mazel for all Tzfat, for all the place. Welcome to keep these or return whatever you want.
The markers all work. In a drawer for a while. Should work. That's traditional aspect. It's a picture I drew I was going up to the Beit Knesset, lady was holding a baby.
You did that just now?
I don't think I just want to comes out. Stop being shy about it. You know what? I take it more Torah in. I think it doesn't bother me.
Anybody doesn't know where the restroom is? I'm walking right now. Everybody knows? You want to follow and learn? Anybody who needs to learn where the restroom is?